Good morning. I would like to welcome all of you here. My name is Javier Gutierrez, and I'm just going to tell you a short story. I was raised Christian Catholic in northern Mexico, and as a kid, I got used to doing charity, and it just became part of my weekly day. And I did anything from helping elderly to helping people in juvenile correction facilities for younger persons. And I never quite got the right feeling out of all of it until I got to feeding the hungry. When I got to feeding the hungry, it didn't feel the same as when I did any other charity. When I fed the hungry, I felt it was more than just a charity. I was like transcending into another type of person. I would like to share with you an ideal my great-grandfather had that he passed on to his grandfather, on to my dad, and on to me. And as you see in the handout, and that's a picture of my great-grandfather, and his idea was to keep your attention on what's at hand. In other words, do what you have around you before you go on to doing something else. In this case, what I did was I went to Capital Area Food Bank. I found it here in Austin, and I found out that Capital Area Food Bank works throughout the United States. And I found this really interesting because I didn't have to go far or near to do my work. I actually just have to drive a couple miles north of Austin. And that was it. Now, Capital Area Food Bank works with over 300 different nonprofit organizations. So it's not simply one single organization. It not only grows on itself, but it grows with others. And this is kind of works with some of the ideas that my grandfather had. And as I see the picture of my grandfather, I just can't help and think about that movie that's called Dead Poets Society. I don't know if you've seen it. There's a scene where I think it's Robbie Williams takes his students into a hall of fame where all the pictures are on the wall, and he just tells them to look at their faces, look at what they aspire to do. And when I was looking for material for this presentation and I saw my grandfather's picture, I just couldn't help but think that what he was thinking and how was he, like they say in the movie Carpe Diem, seizing the day, what was he doing to seize the day? Now what I did was I volunteered at Capital Area Food Bank. I drove up north to Lidney Lane Road, and where we had a food drive in which I carried anything from cranberries to large boxes of frozen turkey, chicken, and onions, smelly onions. This experience was really gratifying because I hadn't done this in a while because of my studies here, in comparison to Mexico, where as I've said, I've regularly had time to do this with my friends and family, which I couldn't do without. In this event, I was lucky enough to have a space open up for me because it was the Thanksgiving special. So we had Thanksgiving dinners being sought out for over 400 people. So, and over the 400 people ranged from any type of ethnicities and all kinds of ages. You would see little kids forming up with their own bags, old people, and I really liked it because the organization had it well planned out to help the disabled. So if you were disabled, we had already a group of people that could assist you in any way or form. Now, how can I get you to volunteer for a Capital Area Food Bank? I could tell you that over 1 million people starve every year. But one that always touches my mind and what made me want to help out people in hunger was a statistic, a recent news in my country. In my city, there's a high percentage of suicidal tendency because of not being able to provide for their own families. Now, this percentage and this not being able to provide for their own family is due to the lack of income and to the lack of food that they can provide in the table. Now, when I get the experience to get the food to their table, that makes my volunteering, those 3 simple hours of my day, worth it. Now, I hope you think about what you can do that's at hand, as my grandfather said, and I hope you have a great day, and I would like to thank you for your presence here today.